and gentlemen, here I am with Mr. Graham with his wonderfully restored Paul Smith Mini. Mr. Graham.
Well, hello there again. I didn't actually restore this myself, but it was in pretty good condition anyway. They made them in 98, 99, year 2000. Paul Smith did a design influence of colour, and they made approximately 300 for England, 1,200 for Japan and Germany. And it was this colour because that was his suit in that. And the hidden parts, let me see if you can come round to the back of the car. The hidden parts, the lining of the suit is like phosphorus green.
Just going to pan over the car and come to the back.
See, like a phosphorus screen, like the false badge I've got there, the false plate. They were accessorised heavily by people, and these, at the time, 20-something years ago, Paul Smith was quite violent and like, you know, there'd be barbed wire on a t-shirt and a dragon eating someone. So this was meant for some ruffians, I've decided, and a Saturday morning car, when they'd park up, and start selling stolen parts, wheels, whatever. The seats are actually XJS seats, and they've done the back seats to match them. These are all made at the factory, they're not separate. And there's loads of accessories which are particular, like the chrome number.
Right, so we've got the chrome number.
Yeah, and the
chrome bumpers, were they restored or are they the originals?
No, the original there. And you can easily buy those anyway. You can get every piece for these cars, other than some Paul Smith parts.
And has it had a respray at all?
It looks like it's had a bit of a wrong one here and there. But
okay.
Time tells. 22 years old. Remember, it's not a Mercedes, and after 6 years, it wouldn't have been worth so much money as it is now in relation. The wheels are special on these.
I was just going to focus in on the filler cap as well.
Ah, that's an unusual thing, because the whole lot actually comes off. You put the key in and the whole lot comes off. It's quite clever.
Fantastic. And the wheels?
Well, the wheels are particular, yeah. They're like, it was a 60s style wheel, but they wouldn't normally be painted black, the spokes.
And what size are they, sorry?
Ah, well, that's a question. These, I don't know.
We'll put that in the description.
Yes, I have that in. I have an original sales brochure in the vehicle, original with all the details of what's what. So,
let's go inside.
There's just a few spares because we're doing things to these.
Okay, I was just going to focus in on the... Are these aftermarket extras?
I think they're aftermarket parts. It would have been a radio cassette similar to that one, very similar. That's actually a BMW one, but it's a Rover one because they owned Rover at the time. And we make cassettes up. The glove box is again in that colour, the green colour, like the lining of the suit.
Green lining inside. Very nice. That's the stereo Mr. Graham was talking about. And I was just going to focus in on this. This is to adjust the mirror. That's your chrome window winder. And that's to shut the door, along with the lock mechanism.
That's if the door doesn't fall off. Actually, it's quite good.
Slams quite nicely. And I'm just going to walk you around momentarily. And then we'll catch up with Mr. Graham. We'll have a look at the front of the car. The mirrors are colour-coded.
Yeah. You have to look at these cars. This gap here has to look like that. If it's anything else, it can mean problems, or it's had filler and there's rust under there. But that's actually pretty good.
Okay, and we've got the roof aerial. Is that an aftermarket?
No, that's original.
Original.
With it.
I shall join you in a second. I was just going to pan on the front of the car. We've got clear indicators, spot lamps. We've got a lovely green...
It's called lettuce leaf.
Okay.
And hold on, more importantly, a gold badge. £600 to buy.
Wow.
Now I'm going to open the bonnet. This is not pristine. It's not meant. I use these cars on a regular basis. So the top of the engine is in the green. These engines, with a final run of these, are actually quite powerful. They're 1275 with multi-port injection, electronic ignition, heated manifold, injection manifold, and they actually go quite well. It will almost do 100 under favourable conditions, but
Downhill with a tailwind.
no, not even downhill, just on the flat.
Okay.
On the flat, yeah.
And so, just to talk us through it, that's our alternator.
Yes, they had to change these the final years because the radiator used to be at the side.
Okay.
But the European Union said heat would blow on people, and so they had to change it to fit a radiator at the front with a forced air fan and a thermostat. These have quite a lot of electronics on them. It actually has a box. ECU, which is extraordinary.
Next to the brake fluid reservoir there.
Yeah.
You've got your oil intake there. That's your coolant top-up. And is that an aftermarket?
Yes, it's an aftermarket steel air filter you can rinse out.
Very nice. Okay, that's your alternator there again. And just looking for the dipstick.
Dipstick in the middle here.
Just going to go.
There you
Okay.
go.
Nicely hidden amongst the spark plugs.
Yes. Oh, there's oil in it. That's good news.
Nice new oil.
Yeah, well, yes. They don't actually do many miles anyway.
Will.
Right, one extraordinary thing here, and they made them for years. This hook is the emergency hook, so the bonnet can't fly up. In actual fact, it pierces the water hose. You can't believe it. It was a common thing. You get the water hose explode.
Design fault.
A fault. And dealers had to modify them, and they never ever corrected it at the factory that I know of.
Oh, okay.
So that you can see where it pierces. I put a Jubilee clip over the piercing point.
Just to protect it.
Yeah,
Just down there.
just there.
So
Yeah,
design fault. Yes, we
yeah,
can
yeah.
see that.
I mean, how hopeless is that? But there you go. Right.
We'll get you to fire the engine up shortly for us,
Yes.
so we can have a little listen. And now we're just going to move around the other side, just show you around the other side as well. And let Mr. Graham get in. And we're going to show you the interior.
Yes.
For me,
You
just
can't actually adjust these seats backwards or forwards. Not really, because they're the wrong seats, but they sold them like that. They actually made them.
And sorry, what vehicle are these seats originally for?
XJS.
XJS Jaguar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, an unusual thing with the later Minis, this particular one has airbag.
That's unusual.
And it should have a reinforced screen, so if the airbag went off, you weren't pushed out of the screen because it pushed the screen out. But I haven't been in that sort of collision yet with it. I hope I'm not.
Hopefully you won't be. I'm just going to show everybody inside.
Yeah.
All the speedos and the dials, etc. Right, we're going to try and get in, so I'm just going to pause for a moment. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, inside Mr. Graham's lovely Paul Smith Mini. As he said, it's got the airbag. There's your dials, your rev counter, fuel and temperature gauge, and your speedo is offset to the left. We've got that lovely clock up there.
Yes, that's an original type clock. Extraordinary enough, it started to go backwards or forwards. So you'd start out on a journey and you'd get there way before you'd left. And so it was strange. So a kind Indian repaired it, cut it in half, resoldered all the joints, glued it back together, and it all works. There you go.
Excellent.
They had a proper alarm on these as well. You had two choices of alarm. One that you couldn't start it, and the other one a complete alarm. If you open the door, it goes off, or boot, or bonnet.
Okay, and there's another look at the inside of the glove box, the stereo, the heater controls.
That isn't the original radio, but it's exactly the same as it would be, really.
Okay.
A cassette
It says
player.
BMW on it, but and those are your heater pipes at the bottom as well, exposed. But that was like on the old Minis as well.
Not sure.
And the gearbox, is it 5-speed, 4-speed manual?
No, 4-speed.
4-speed manual.
But the diff in this is high ratio.
Okay.
And you can go 70 all day because it's doing 3,000 revs. And it goes 3,000 revs uphill on the motorway as well, with weight in it. But they're not like a Golf GTI or something.
It's a different type of vehicle.
Out-corner most cars.
Okay, just going to show you in the back. Just to add, got a fuse box down here as well. And then we're just going to show you from the back seat.
Oh no, there's a lot of rubbish on there. Well, not rubbish, bits and pieces.
Just some bits and pieces on there.
Oil filter, fuel filter.
Let's show you that interior again, out of an XJS. And now we're going to show you round the back by the boot.
The spare wheel's not the same as the road wheel it's on it. It's to get you home. It's a
Space saver.
Yeah, no, it isn't really. It's pressed steel.
Okay. And that's your fuel tank, the green one?
The green one, the fuel tank, yes. They didn't do 2 tanks with this model.
Okay.
It's the Cooper S they did.
And that's your toolkit down there, and your battery.
Yeah.
Now, is that an upgraded battery, Mr. Graham?
Yes. Yes.
Slightly bigger than the normal ones, isn't it?
Yeah, as you can see.
And I think you were informing me that you had to get the support cables for the boot replaced.
That's a replacement. And I noticed it's shorter than the original, unless the original is stretched there.
It's probably stretched, hasn't it? It was a common design fault on the previous model as well. And you've had some upgraded speakers added at the back?
No.
Original?
Yeah, original, apparently.
Fair enough.
Okay. And it works.
And it works, which is what we want to hear.
It doesn't sound like a modern stereo. You need 4 or more speakers, but it's all right.
It's good. And it's got the extended wheel arches as well, I've noticed.
Yeah, that was from the factory, all that.
That's original equipment.
And there's a heated back window as well. There you go.
And these rear windows, do they open?
They open as well.
Yeah, yes. I noticed there's a catch there, so the rear quarters open.
Yep.
And again, on the front, we've got the extended wheel arches and clear indicators on the side as well, which was...
I'm not sure whether those are original. I think I've seen other of these minis. I go to mini shows, and we've had as many as 5 of these at a show. The next one's at Stamford Hall. That's at the end of the M6, where it joins the M1, very close to that, A14. And that's on the 11th of September. It'll be amazing. It'll be 1,000. If it's good weather, there'll be 1,000 cars there.
Understoed. And now we're just going to get Mr. Graham to start it, and we'll get you to hear the engine sound on it as well.
Right.
And the exhaust.
It actually sounds pretty throaty. They all do, because it's a short exhaust system. As I say, the alarm system on this works.
Just going to fire it up.
Tickover, when it's cool, is 1,200 revs, and then it settles down to about 900. It's quite a bippy sound.
That sounds very heavy, like a proper sports car. I'm just going to go around by the exhaust, and I'll get you to rev it a couple of times, Mr. Graham. Okay. What we'll do, we'll show you under the bonnet. There we are, under the bonnet. Engine idles beautifully. Just going to give it a few revs for you now as well. That sounds healthier than most modern cars, Mr. Graham.
It does in my chest, I tell you.
And there we are. Okay, we're going to go back inside. Just going back to the tyres, the wheels are 12-inch. I think they might be called Minilites.
Minilites, that's correct.
And the tyre size is 165, 60, 12. Now, we're going to switch it off. And I'm going to go round Mr. Graham. And Mr. Graham's going to switch it off.
There we go.
And we're going to say...
Hi.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for showing some attention. I love these little cars. We've got a number of them in stock and some spares as well. I've got the original sales brochure inside, which I'll dig out and lay on the top of the car, and you'll run it over, yes? I'll do that, I'll get that out now. Yeah, look at this. This came as a sales brochure preview to what you could get.
Paul Smith Mini, the original sales brochure. Wow. It's a good condition.
Yes, you have to pay, unfortunately, for them. By the way, in the boot, there should be that bag for the jack. Now, in Japan, they're asking 2,500 for the bag alone. Pounds, not yen or anything. And there's a cover in the boot, carpet colour, the same as that. And then this opens out and tells you all sorts of things. I know.
There we go. Hope you managed to read that.
Hold on, there's some more on the back.
We'll just flick over for you. And that's the last page. At which point, we will say to you all, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
And see you on the next video, where Mr. Graham will go through another one of his...
You may see it driving along. Wave. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.